I'm Mike Kociba. I'm Assistant Chief Engineer for Small Block Engines. It's my privilege to be here to represent the Small Block Engine team. I'd like to tell you about our all-new 6.6-liter gas engine and the all-new Silverado HD. We've got a number of new features on here, direct injection being one of the most significant of them, that allows us to make 401 horsepower and 464 foot-pounds of torque. As a result of these features, we have 20% more torque across the entire speed range, which means no matter what you want to use your Silverado HD for, it'll accomplish any of your goals. Pulling stumps, pulling trailers, we're very confident it'll meet all of your needs. Of course, 464 foot-pounds of torque, it is a 22% increase at peak. And that is something that, especially if you're pulling mountain grades, etc., will make sure that you make it to the top with confidence. Walking around the engine compartment here, you can see a number of our key features. As you know, we have a significant increase in the trailering capability. We now have up to 17,400 pounds available, and the way we realize that is not just with the engine capability and that increased torque, but a significant increase in the thermal capacity of this vehicle. As you've seen, if you've seen all the pictures, the front end of this vehicle is rather large. Why is that? Well, if you look and see this radiator, the radiator itself is massive. This enables us to get maximum cooling to make sure that even when you're in your mountain grades and with the loss in air density, of course, the engine has to work a little harder to make up for it. But that 17,400 pounds, we enable that anywhere in the galaxy. You can tow that no matter where you are. We stand by that you can make that tow rating. So when you're up at altitude and the engine is working a little hard, even in those conditions, all this cooling content will make sure that you can confidently tow through any mountain pass that you can find. Some other key features, this particular model is not equipped with the optional second battery, but if you have large electrical loads, we do have that feature available, and that obviously would go here in that place. We also have available a second generator that will mount to the engine if you have a large electrical demand. That combined with the electrical outlet in the back of the bed means that if you're tailgating and you're cranking your stereo, if you have that extra features, then you can be sure that you can have your fun with your friends. At the end of the day, you won't be unfortunately stranded if you drain the battery. Additional features that we have on this Silverado HD, it's carefully engineered to meet with the air filter element. As you can see over here, any engine is basically a big air pump at heart, so we want to make sure that we maximize the breathing capability through this unit. Of course, it's a careful balance with the filtration. If you're in a dusty climate, we don't want to suck all that dirt into the engine, so it's a careful balance, and our engineers have done an excellent job finding those features. Talking a little bit more of the engine itself, I mentioned the direct injection. What that enables us to do is by atomizing the fuel as it's sprayed into the engine. Effectively, the way that works, it's kind of like if it's a hot summer day and you have like a squirt bottle, like a little mister. If you spray that on your face, it kind of just helps cool you off. If it's really hot, you don't even get wet. It's a nice cool feeling. Same thing works in the combustion chamber. When we inject the fuel at 2,200 psi, it cools the entire mixture. That way, even though you're burning regular fuel, which I'd like to point out, the 401 horsepower and 464 foot-pounds of torque, that's all in regular fuel. You don't have to put premium in this to get those numbers. But by using direct injection, we can use regular fuel, get those numbers, and part of the way that's realized is by an increase in compression ratio. The outgoing 6-liter had a 9.7 to 1 ratio. We've increased that all the way up to 10.8 to 1. That increases efficiency across the board. It's more power, it's more torque, it's really just all better. It's one of those rare technology that really does make all your features better. Some of the additional differences here, some of the fanatics out there may recognize this as a 400 cubic inch. The way we get that extra displacement, the bore is actually unchanged, but we have added 6 millimeters to the stroke. That obviously also extends our torque band and increases it, like I said before, to the 20% really across the board. Low speed, high speed, it's there wherever you need it. Some of the other key features we have, we also have an active oil pump. So no matter what your duty cycle is, it can dial in the right amount of oil pressure to offer you that protection. If it's hot, if it's cold, if it's working hard, high speed, low speed, it works together with our piston squirters to maximize the internal cooling. Again, making sure that no matter what your climate, what your conditions are, that this Silverado HD will do everything that you need it to do. Now that said, I'm sure there's questions. Is direct injection the right thing for a gas motor in the heavy duty segment? I can say resoundingly yes. It increases the performance across the board with the efficiency, and we've taken extra effort to make sure that the durability is absolutely there. We know our fleet customers want that low cost of ownership that they rely on to make sure that their business models are all met. By adding the direct injection, we absolutely meet the efficiency and the power. And with our rigorous testing, we have strong accelerated testing that makes sure that the fuel injectors, the interface to the cam, all those meet your requirements. So this has made it to our 6-speed transmission. That is something that we've beefed up. It's not common with our light duty models. It is significantly increased for the durability requirements. Again, to get 17,400 pounds, you don't just change a few different components to get that level of increase. We have to change nearly everything. So obviously the engine improvements we've talked through the thermal benefits, the drive line, the transmission, all those components also have to be enhanced to make sure that we realize those goals.
Okay, so right now, we're in the 2020 Silverado and the 2500. This is a 6.6-liter gas, the new engine, and so got it floored, and of course we're towing, and now it's starting to get up to about 50, but it's about 4,500 RPMs. Okay, all right. Okay, and so obviously you don't do a lot of towing. Here we are in the 2020 Silverado 2500, the 6.6-liter gas, their new gas engine. So what are your impressions then so far?
Yeah, so far I like the way the truck feels. Like you said, I don't do a lot of towing, but the towing that I have done, this feels more stable on the road. It's windy right now, so we're probably getting some wind resistance, and we're going up a grade. I would say it feels a little bit like it would benefit from some more power. I feel like right now we're at 4,500 RPM. It's not completely floored, but it's it feels like it's really, really straining to get up this grade right now. So I think that's where I could benefit with a little bit more power to it.
Okay.
For this load, like you said, it's got the little bobcat in the back, and so I'm not sure the poundage on that.
Okay, and then also say downhill then.
Downhill's fine. It feels, like I said, it feels stable. And it's windy, so it's you can get blown, but I don't feel that way. I feel like it's pretty good on the road. It doesn't necessarily feel like I'm towing anything. I mean, there's something back there, but it doesn't feel like it's taking over it's taking a lot of effort